Good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy, and I'm back doing another video. I know y'all used to seeing me do a video of a different brand, but um, anyway, I'm here. Alright. So, first of all, peace and blessings and love and respect to everybody. I hope everybody's doing what's necessary to stay safe and take care of each other. Alright. So, today I wanted to take a minute to talk to y'all about race relations between black people and black on black crime and the whole nine. Alright. And give you the truth, or what I believe to be the truth. All right. Um, for Newport and Mountain Dew, if y'all start sharing my videos, I might be able to get a deal, or an endorsement deal, or whatever. Because these motherfuckers end up in my whole every video that I shoot. All right. So let's talk, and I'm just gonna keep it 100 with y'all about black on black relations, y'all. And the reason why, or what I believe to be the reason why, and it's just a thought. You know what I'm saying? The reason why we have black on black crime and it is so prevalent within our society right now, and it has been for years and years and years. All right, and the reason that I'm doing this is because with the current awakening that's happening and a whole bunch of people talking and whatnot. First of all, white people, stop making this about you. It's not about you, y'all. This is not about you. This is not about white versus black, and you want to feel included or whatnot. But this whole movement is not about you. So stop telling us. Stop coming with the little slick comments talking about white, black people, Black Lives Matter when white people kill them, when white police officers kill them and shit like that. First of all, Black Lives Matter when black police officers kill them or choke them or do whatever. All right. So it's not about you. Stop interjecting yourself into some negativity. Because this one is not even about you. Alright? Secondly, to the black people who are saying that, I want y'all to understand something. Though y'all think these two things relate when we're talking about police brutality and black on black crime, black on black murder, black on black fighting, whatever the case may be, these are two separate things, and I'll tell you why. Because one is a external conversation, all right? The other is something that we have to talk about and discuss amongst each other. And I'll get back to that later, and I'll let y'all know why that it's so hard for it to happen. Matter of fact, I'll tell you why right now. The reason why it's so hard for us to have that conversation is because we are in days of times where we think that if people don't think exactly the way that we think, they're stupid. So we're not willing to have a welcoming space to their ideas. All right, this is the time. These are the times that we live in. You know what I'm saying? Most people, if I'm not, would rather continue to think that they're right than to be in a welcoming space, so we can get to a point where we can have some type of understanding towards each other. Due to the fact that we're divided by so many different things. First of all, we're divided by race, and we're divided by how we live life, sexual orientation, what we do for a living, how we get money, religion, these types of things or whatnot. But if you want to have a conversation about black people and being black, then be a black person in that moment. All right. Leave all the other stuff out, because only thing that you're doing is you can let me put it this way. So you're divided this way, you're divided this way, you're divided this way. Now all of these things have their own dividers that is sectioned off, all right? Sectioned off this way. So now you find yourself ending up being in a small ass box looking for someone who thinks exactly like you, and it's only going to be about 2 or 3 of those people who think exactly like you, and then the more and more you get to know them, you're going to realize that y'all don't even think exactly alike. All right? So you have to come to the conversation prepared and to be open to whatever is best. And I'll put it to you like this: you could have the same thought as a person, and instead of accepting who they are, you're heterosexual. You can have the same thought as a black person about black people as a gay person, and you being heterosexual. And now that thought, you would rather change your thought than to agree with a gay black person. That's counterproductive. Alright? So let's get into the logistics of this whole thing, because this video is probably going to be about 15 minutes, alright? Let's get into the logistics of the whole thing. We're taught when we're growing up to do one of two things, alright? We're taught to, if someone has less than what we have when we're growing up, this is what we learn. If someone has less than what you have, to ridicule them. Don't pull them, like, that's a running joke, alright? That's a running joke that this person, oh, he dressed bummy. Oh, look at his shoes. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. And it's the reason why we have to have on a certain set of shoes now. We have to have on a certain brand of shoes now. And that has followed us all our lives. Because we got ridiculed for wearing certain things. We got ridiculed for wearing shoes with 4 stripes on them. We got ridiculed for wearing a Shaq shoe that came from Walmart, or a Stephon Marbury shoe that came from Walmart. We got ridiculed for those things. We got ridiculed for wearing shoes that weren't Nikes and Reeboks and Adidas. We got ridiculed for those. So you're taught to treat that person like he's less of a human. In the black neighborhood, you're taught to treat that person like he's less of a human than you are because you have better things. And then the other thing that we're taught is if someone is making their life better, to drag that person down psychologically and mentally, to talk shit about them until it becomes a general consensus and everybody agrees with you about how bad of a person this person is because they're moving up in the world. Alright? We don't celebrate people who get shit. We don't celebrate black people who get shit. We talk about them. We hold them to a higher standard than everyone else because they have so much money. Because they have so much standing. Because they had the shit that y'all did to Jay-Z is an example of that. People who loved Jay-Z all of their life and who had listened to him for 20, 25 years were so disgusted with him when he signed that deal with the NFL. So these are symptoms of the hood. All right. Now, the reason why that shit exists is because the starting points actually matter. White America had a 250 year head start on black people, on black African Americans. 250 years. That's a big ass head start, all right? So, and we helped them get to that point. You know what I'm saying? This country was built on our backs, off our blood, sweat, and tears when we wasn't receiving any compensation other than hog maws and chitlins, just to keep us alive for the next day of work. All right. So, by the time we experienced any freedom, they had a 250-year head start. Now, with that being said, and this is not a confrontational video. I'm just saying that, I'm just stating that as a fact. Alright, so even then, we came into a situation with nothing. With nothing. We had to figure it out. With no real knowledge of where we were. We've only known this one section of life, and now we're freed as slaves, and we have to figure this whole thing out. Alright? So we have to do whatever it takes in order to survive. Alright? So this is the same mindset that has persisted, because when we're in the hood, there's only a certain amount of money that is allotted or available in the hood. Alright? And you have so many people trying to get that certain amount of money. So we're chasing the same dollar. Alright? So this is why black on black crime exists. This is part of the reason why black on black crime. It generally comes down to 3 things when we talk about black on black crime. And it comes down to money, drugs, and people. Meaning, the people part meaning we fight. Black man's biggest vice is a woman. It is. It's our only real weakness. Alright? We're not really weak towards money, but we're weak towards a woman. And a lot of the shit that we do as black men is to impress a woman. Like, the reason that we go out and chase the dollar is to look a certain way so we can get the woman. Alright? Now, keeping the woman, that's a whole different story, but whatever. Um, so, we're gonna. I've already basically explained women chasing men, they fight each other over a man. Men chasing women, they fight each other over a woman. So that's one thing. But the biggest shit is the fact that we chasing the same dollar. That's what it comes down to. So we can take drugs and money and put that into the same category, because that's the way of ghetto fabulous, is to sell dope inside your community. And once you get that mindset that you're putting poison into your own people, it becomes a sickness. And you don't care about killing this other dope man because one less person, a little more money for me. Alright? So we're chasing the same dollar. We're chasing the same dollar. Alright? That's where the dissension comes in. Because we haven't figured out to how to manifest money between us. There are examples of that I won't speak on. Yes, I will. Our brown brothers and sisters, the Latino community or whatnot, they go out and get their money and then they come and spend it amongst each other and manifest their money. They have basically, if you go to any major city, they have their own thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have their own little area where they have their own thing going on. And they sit in that one area and circulate money. In the meantime, we fighting over money. We killing each other over money. This, that, and the third. This is what we do as black people. So, you don't believe me. We're not that much different than any animal walking the earth. If you have a cage full of rats that haven't eaten in 3 days, and you drop a small piece of bread, let's say 40 rats, and you drop a small piece of bread down there, there's going to be a fight for that fucking bread. That's what happens in the black neighborhood. So I hope that people can watch this and actually see, and actually, these are just common sense things. I'm not a fucking scientist. I'm not a sociological genius or no shit. These are common sense things. This is what we've seen in our hood and we've ignored for years, y'all. These are things that it's really simple when you think about it. We're fighting each other over the same thing because it's not enough there. I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you need something done in your house. As a black person, you are more likely to go out and hire a white contractor to do whatever you need in your house, because ideally, the white person is going to come in. And this is a mindset. This is some real shit. A white person is going to come in and do a better job than a black person. That's what we think. It's not necessarily true, but that's how we think. We don't. That would be, think about it. That's an aspect of pulling somebody up and manifesting our money. Hire black, but we don't do that. We don't spend our money with each other. We can't wait to go out and buy an outfit to go to the club. We can't wait to go buy Gucci after they made a blackface sweater. We can't wait to go out and buy these brands, these Italian brands, to clad our body in after we've been disrespected by them. We can't wait, because that shit look good. People gonna think I got this. People go, and that's the last thing I want to talk about. It's visual. We see a person, and we select people to be in our lives based off of what we think that they got. And as the truth starts to unravel about what the visual was as opposed to what the truth is, even if that person is good to us, because a lot of times people get into that situation where okay, I gotta look at this certain way, and hopefully I can win their heart over, so I can actually be myself and be a truthful person with this person. That we value things so much, and that goes back to everything I've said on this video, that we value things so much that we select the wrong people to add into our lives, that we can't be prosperous with, that we can't grow with, that we won't grow with. Like, understand something. I read something recently that 74% of black children in America live in single parent households. This is how the sickness grows, all right? Because now our kids are growing up. We don't value the structure of family as black people. We don't realize how strong we are to pick and select someone that we can live our life with and raise a healthy family. And we're in this all together. Like, I think things like when I was 14 years old and I had to go and basically work a full-time job in order to keep up with the Joneses, because I lived in a single-parent household. So in order to keep up with the Joneses and to keep nice things on my body, I had to work a full-time job while going to school. My grades suffered. And that's just being honest. At 14 years old, I was working 38, 39 hours a week, plus going to school in the mornings, 40 hours a week. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Working 7+ hours, 5 days a week, getting home 12 o'clock, knowing that I'm not going to have enough time to get enough rest to wake up and go to school the next day. But it was something that I felt like I had to do. So this is the mindset that we get, that has grown within our children, is that as soon as they're able to work, they want to go out and work, and then school starts to slide, and then all of a sudden they're not in a position to go to college and get that education that they need in order to be prosperous, in order to be somebody, in order to make their life better than ours was. So how do we fix that? We got to stop letting the system, allowing the system to separate us, allowing the system to cause dissension within us. You know what I'm saying? Because things like, and I'm just going to be real honest with y'all right now, and I'm probably, if people watch this video, I'm probably going to catch some backlash behind it. But the truth is, things like child support, alimony, things like that, it makes it easier for you to select someone that you're not going to spend a future with, you can build a future with. Because that's basically what they call a mulligan. It's like, okay, if it don't work out, this person still has to have my back. That's not the way it was supposed to be. You're supposed to have a family with someone that you're going to be with and raise your family and be with until time expires on you. That's the way that it was supposed to be. That connection is almost non-existent within the black community. People that were married all their life end up separated and now divorced because divorce is so cheap. It's easy to get out of. And then I have these other things. So I have these other things that I can utilize where that person still has to stay in my life and still has to provide for me in some kind of way. And let's keep it honest, like, provide for me in some kind of way. Because providing for your children, a lot of times when you're on a set payment, a lot of times your child doesn't even need anything in that moment. So what do you do with that money? You don't put it up for the time that the child may actually need it. You spend it on something about you. A lot of women, and not all women, but a lot of women actually use child support as a payment to them for taking care of your kids. That is your natural duty. All right? If the relationship didn't work, then you should have chosen better. He should have chosen better. But we definitely need to get to a point where both parents are in the household with these kids, man. because we're losing them. You understand? I worry about that when I'm watching these riots, and I'm worrying about the purity of these people that are going out and putting themselves at risk if they're out there for the right reasons. If they're out there, we have a fucking nation of clout chasers now. I worry about that. Young kids are out here protesting. And if they're not out there for the purest of reasons, then they're out there for the wrong reasons. Alright? Something has to change, y'all. Something has to change. And I would love for this video to be a starting point to start some open dialogue where we can stop, put everything else aside, and start to talk to each other as black people. As just nothing more than nothing about what you do, and how you live your life, but just as black people. It's hot as a bitch in here. I'm sorry, y'all. I need to turn my air on, but I wanted to finish this video. I didn't want to walk away from the screen, and I've already used 21 minutes of your time. But these are some of the longest videos I've ever posted or whatnot. Because I care, man. I do. I do all of my videos because I care, and if I can help one person have an understanding of a subject better than what they came into it with, I'm willing to have that conversation. And I want people to start commenting on my videos, man. Let me know what you think, because I'm willing to listen. I have that space, for that landing space for your ideas. Bounce them off of me. Let me hear, because I'm only going to learn and grow based off of what you tell me. And I'm willing to do that. And that's the biggest thing. Let's get to the point where we're willing to learn and grow with each other. Period. So I hope everyone is having a blessed day, man. Y'all keep living, keep on living, keep on living. That's the main shit. Whatever you're doing outside the doors, make sure you're living, and make sure that you're in a good space, man. Mentally, physically, psychologically, and especially with your soul. I'm out, y'all. Show off.